Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. In this episode of the Music Den, I'm going to be doing another installment of albums that turned 50 in 2023. Now, I haven't done one of these installments in a while, so I figured it was about time I do one. And in trying to choose an album that turned 50 in 2023, I ended up thinking of two of them, as luck would have it. So I'm going to be doing two installments of this. Um, the first one is from a band from the UK. Uh, Very successful band. They had a string of hit albums. Sorry, starting from 1968, and some people would say up until 1973, when this album was released, that their streak kept going, and that this album that I'm about to talk about was the pinnacle. And some people, critics mostly, think that quite the opposite is true, is that this album doesn't feature any or show any growth in the band or any maturation in terms of the songwriting of this band, that this band at this point were resting on their laurels and were basically in the news for their, how can I put this, extracurricular activities as opposed to their songwriting and album releases. But that's up for you to decide. The group I'm talking about is the Rolling Stones, if you haven't already guessed it. And the album is Goat's Head Soup. Now, as you can tell, I've included the album cover that was released in some territories. I believe mostly it was released in Colombia. Personally, I prefer the North American, British album cover release as opposed to the disgusting goat's head in the bowl of soup. I don't know why they did that. I just think it's disgusting, but that's just me. This album was released August 31st, 1973, on their own imprint, Rolling Stones Records, which was distributed by Atlantic Records. Um, Prior to this album coming out, the first single from the album, Angie, was released on the 20th of August, 1973. I'll get into that. This album was produced by Jimmy Miller, the last one to be produced by Jimmy Miller. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, known as the Glimmer Twins, would go on to produce the majority of the albums. After this, uh, the album clocks in at 46 minutes, 56 seconds, 10 songs, not a very long album. Um, for me, this is a good album. This is a very good album. Starts off with Dancing with Mr. D. And you can take from that title what you will. I'm sure a lot of people will take from it what they will. Um, there's a lot of rhythm guitar here, a lot of, I call it slink, a lot of attitude, a lot of swagger. Um, the, the lyrics on this track have some dark connotations to it, but not overly so. Just a good chorus, very textured track in terms of guitars. 100 Years Ago comes next. Again, uh, fantastic track. Um, a lot of these songs on the album have a feel of any one of the guitarists. Mick Taylor was in the band at the time, so you had Mick Taylor and Keith Richards on either lead or rhythm guitar. You also had Mick Jagger on rhythm guitar on some tracks. But a lot of these songs have a feel that the band members were basically in the studio just strumming a guitar, either electric or acoustic, coming up with ideas, and then somebody else walking in like, oh, what is that progression? What are those chords? And then just jumping on an idea and sort of completing the song. Each song is different. Each song is unique. It's different, but at the same time, they all fit together. There's a sophistication on this album that isn't on Exile on Main Street. As good as Exile on Main Street is, um, this album to me does show a growth, right? A trajectory. They haven't plateaued yet, in my opinion. Coming Down Again is next, and it features Keith Richards on lead vocals. A beautiful, very laid back track. It's like they're all sitting around in the studio having a drink, and he just comes up with these chords on acoustic guitar, and they all kind of again jump on it, and it has like a sitting around in a circle, just coming up with an idea and just sort of completing it right then and there. Very sort of very kind of an impromptu track. Beautiful. Obviously, he's talking about coming off of a bender and his girlfriend or his wife leaving him again, and what is he going to do? All right. Track number 4 is Heartbreaker, the second single released from the album. Just a good, straightforward rocker. I mean, at this point, the Stones have not lost their ability to come up with good rhythm guitar and good hard rocking pieces. Angie comes next. The lead off single, worldwide #1 hit. It was said that the record company did not want them to release, Atlantic in particular, did not want them to release Angie as the first single. They wanted something more of a brown sugar kind of a track, of a hard rocker kind of a track. But they acquiesced to the Stones. Beautiful acoustic number written by Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. I'm going to debunk the rumors right now. Angie Bowie has said in interviews over the years that this song was the result of her walking in on David Bowie and Mick Jagger in bed together. And the only thing between them was a jar of Vaseline. Okay? She had walked in and they were both in bed together. And they will just sat up and like, oh, hi. Like, not very surprised that she was there. And apparently she went down to go get them coffee and brought it back up to them. These rumors have been debunked by Keith Richards. He came up with the chords and he was just strumming a guitar and he was singing Angie just over and over again. The song was written while after his wife Anita had a baby daughter they named Dandelion. And the Catholic hospital that she was born at wanted them to give the baby a proper Catholic name for the birth certificate. So they came up with Angela. Okay. And these lyrics were written by Jagger. And apparently, according to Richards, it was based on Jagger's breakup with Marianne Faithfull. Okay. That was it. That's it. There's no sensational rumor about Bowie and Jagger in bed together. It's just it's folklore kind of a thing. Side 2 starts off with Silver Train. Again, great song. Nothing earth shaking about it, earth shattering about it. Hydro Love is next, and that has a very sort of it's very piano based, right? Very rhythmic and very piano. It is piano based. It's very rhythmic, and again, the lyrics sound like they were made up on the spot. And some songs are great like that. You don't want to work some songs. If you, it's been said by some groups that if you work too hard on the song, you ruin the essence of the song. But it has that kind of a feel, right? Winter is next, and that was to be apparently the first song that they had started work on for this album, according to Mick Taylor. Again, great song. Can You Hear the Music is track number 9. Again, another one of those songs that lyrics just sounds like it was made up on the fly, right? And the album ends with Star Star. Okay, good old-fashioned Stones rocker. Talks about a woman who, according to Mick Jagger, is very accommodating. Let's keep it that way, okay? And what else can be said? This was at a time where you could slip in lyrics on your songs, and the record company wouldn't pick up on it. And it would get through, and this censorship or whatever. Censorship at the time really didn't exist in the record business. So I mean, it could slip past anybody, and and it could get out to the public. That's the album. To me, it's a very strong album. It's a very cohesive album, a lot stronger than Exile on Main Street. Although Exile on Main Street is a good album, this album, Gotetsu, for me, is a lot stronger musically. Just a bit of other information I found out. Bill Wyman only plays tracks on 3 songs, on Angie, on Winter, and Star Star. And the rest of the bass duties on the other tracks were split up between Mick Taylor and Keith Richards. I don't know why he wasn't there. I don't know what was the reasoning behind it. But, and this was the time where when they would record albums, the Stones would have extra musicians on hand to contribute. So on this album, you had Billy Preston on keyboards, Nicky Hopkins, and Ian Stewart. That would contribute various, instrumentation. It's a very dense album, very thick, very textured in terms of instrumentation. Fantastic. If you're interested, there is a 2020 reissue of this album. Comes in various formats. Comes in double vinyl. Comes in a double CD. The second disc has 3 outtakes, and the outtakes are Scarlet featuring Jimmy Page on guitar, All the Rage, and Crisscross. Also has various outtakes and alternate versions of tracks from Goat's Head Soup. There's a triple CD Super Deluxe set available. The third disc is a concert that they did in Brussels featuring 15 tracks. Fantastic. One of the tracks, there's an 11-minute version of You Can't Always Get What You Want. So, yeah, depending on where you want to get this, the double disc version, The single disc version remastered of this, the remix of this was done by Gilles Martin, son of George Martin. The single disc version goes for like $14.99. The double disc version with the extra 3 bonus tracks goes for $24.99. And the super deluxe box set, depending what you want to buy, it goes for about $110. You got a book, you got 2 books, posters and stuff. So you got various, paraphernalia on that. So that's it for now. Please, down below, let me know what you think of this album. Do you like Goat's Head Soup? Do you think it is the pinnacle of their string of hit albums? Do you think that it's nothing to write home about? Let me know what you think. And please click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content that I've got coming up. I will be doing another installment of albums that turn 50 in 2023, and I will be doing another episode of Live Album Spotlight, and that album will be Genesis Seconds Out. So that's going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to that one. So for now, hoping you guys are having a good day and that you're looking after yourselves and one another. And I will be seeing you soon with another video. Bye for now.